Good part of the day, my dear digital friends. As I promised last Sunday, we are going to begin a very interesting podcast. At least it should be interesting for those of you who stutter, stammer, who still believe that their condition, so-called stuttering or stammering, that it's a real condition that exists on our planet. So today we are going to debunk this misinformation. Good part of the day. And let me tell you what we are going to do today. So here are my notes. Let me bring them up to the screen and we'll go. Okay, so first, of course, I gotta introduce myself for those of you who don't know me yet or see me first time. So here we go. Of course, my name is Anna Dieter, and I am a former speech therapist with 30 years of experience and a master of standard speech unblocking for the past 13 years. Today, I will share a revolutionary information about the old and the new ways of handling stuttering. We are also going to briefly go over the types of people who stutter, talk about the psycho-emotional states, and of course, the most important part, we're going to go over the difference between the old methods to handle stuttering and the new 100% reliable, quick, efficient, and permanent way to eliminate any form of speech imperfection and switch from difficulties from the easy way to speak. So this is what we are going to talk about. So get ready, because today I am thinking about actually switching my phone when I do live stream. Wait a second. Do I do live? We're telling your followers that you have started a live video. Okay. So dear people on Instagram, don't take it lightly. The fact that I am going live on Instagram does give you a chance to learn a lot of truth about the natural speech that you have, but it's a little bit blocked at the moment with you, and to learn about the truth about stuttering disorder, which doesn't exist in reality, but you still believe that it does exist. So what I recommend to every person who joins me here on Instagram, I recommend you switch to YouTube, because the presentation on YouTube is going to be much more vivid. You will be able to see it clearly and understand in a much easier way if you watch me and listen to me, not on Instagram, but on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. That's where I'm doing my multi-streaming. But of course, you can always ask your questions in any platform, and I will stop my presentation and right away answer your question. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so what we did last week, I'm going to go briefly over this. I have presented the pyramid of people who stutter. Let me bring it to the stage. Here we go. Oh no, not this one. I picked the wrong one. Remove. Okay, this one. So types of people who stutter. Okay, so I can actually switch for you people in Instagram. Maybe you can Hi. Okay. So here it is. That's what you are going to see on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you will be able to do this. And right now, I see the first question. Let me bring it to the stage show. Good morning, Miss Anna. Hope you're doing well. God bless you. Good morning, Ali. Good to see you again over here. Can't wait to see you in my unblocking classroom one day. Hopefully, one day you will be ready. Okay, dokie. So, let me remind to you that the only question, let me just go back to myself on Instagram. Let me remind to you that if you have a question, go ahead and ask your question. In this way, you're going to become a moderator, a leader in this podcast for you. I I offer this podcast, those live streams, not for myself. I do it for millions of people who stutter. I want you to have a clear vision, finally revive your naturally normal speech that you all are born with. You do have your speech right now, but for various reasons, it has been blocked. You need to unblock it. But let's go step by step, right? So here we go. Once again, people, I don't understand why I don't have anybody live. Okay. Anybody on Instagram who would watch me, it's very unusual. We're telling your followers, okay, hopefully someone will join me. But once again, if you do join me on Instagram, go to YouTube. I'm not gonna switch to Instagram anymore. So let's go. Types of people who stutter. That's what you see. We're gonna go briefly over this because it's very important. And we are going to continue talking about it. So quickly, here we go. The first step of the pyramid, eternal stutterers, hopeless people who know that they're not good speakers, but they don't do anything about it. They don't even ask questions. They just feel, oh, I am shy. I don't like talking much. And when I talk, I feel that something is blocking me, so I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be part of anyone's conversation. I don't want to join social meetings, social events. And when I do join social events, I would like to stay kind of on the side, watch rather than participate in these social events. Sounds familiar? Yes. So that's what you have if you are still on the very first level of the pyramid called eternal stutterers. Because if you don't ask questions, then nothing is going to happen with you. You still are going to remain confused about what natural and normal speech is, and your access to your naturally innate natural speech will remain blocked. The second step of the pyramid, the second level of the pyramid, the types of people who stutter is called treatment undergoers. It's usually young children who, of course, they don't do anything on their own. Their parents, their teachers want to help this kind of people, this kind of children, and they refer this eternal stutterers to different systemic specialists, systemic assistants. So this could be speech therapists usually, this could be doctors, this and that. So someone who would offer treatment. And a person goes through the treatment unconsciously. So the person is laying down. If you see it, the picture in the center, right? You see the picture where the doctor is sitting with the patient. The patient doesn't do anything, but on the second level of the pyramid, the patient, a person who stutters, already has the hope. This person has a hope that someone has a magical cure for him or her, and he's going to lay down for some time, right? In the clinic, and somehow this stuttering disorder will be cured. It will disappear. After doing it for some time, a person finally realizes, doesn't work this way, right? So, and when this happens, this person may go to the higher step. And this person all of a sudden becomes an aggressive stutterer wrestler. Boom, boom, boom. He begins to wrestle with stuttering. He begins to push, fight, struggle with the stuttering disorder. His mind is still confused. I mean, he still believes a lot of misinformation. And when someone tells him, you gotta practice, you gotta do exercises, you gotta do this and that to practice, and then you're gonna achieve a wonderful result of your perfect speech. And this kind of people go through this stage. And as you see on the side of the pyramid on the right, you see the condition of these people. It's called aggression. They're very aggressive. They're constantly competing with other people. And it's funny because other people have no idea that someone is competing with them. Someone wants to speak faster. Someone wants to say more words at once. Someone wants to be better, a better speaker than others around. Someone wants to be a champion in speaking. Ordinary people are not even aware of that because it's kind of very, very irrational to get into competition with other people and even compare yourself with other people, because people have different skills, different mindsets, different skills, different levels of the skills. And also, I want to mention again, as I said last week, that yes, you can train yourself. But what does it mean to train yourself? What does it mean to aggressively get into exercises, training your muscles? Doesn't matter what muscles of your body you want to train. Yes, you can get some results. Just like in any sports, for as long as you are training yourself, you're exercising your muscles, guess what's happening? Okay, I'm back. You go to the certain level of your mastery, right? You get a very good result for yourself, but then you get tired inevitably and you take a break and you stop training. And what happens after that? Ooh, you lose your result right away. Just like in any sports, look at the Olympic champions. They train so intensively for the championship, and they get themselves to the level, high level, to win the competition. They become champions. They grow bulky muscles. They become so, big and buffed after the training, right? However, the moment they stop training, they stop going to the gym, they lose their muscle mass. They cannot become a champion anymore, right? You got to understand it. This is why people who stutter are constantly going up and down, up and down. They win, they become better at speaking, but the moment they stop training, guess what happens? Ooh, stuttering comes back. It's totally normal. Why? Once again, because people who stutter don't need to train themselves. They don't need to be so aggressive. Guess what happens when you're exercising? Whenever a person is exercising, this person is tensing his or her muscles. Tension becomes part of your life. A person becomes very, very aggressive and the whole body tenses. So how can it help you, my dear? It's impossible. It's impossible to help yourself, not with treatment, as you already know, not with training. It's all useless waste of your life, energy, and efforts. Okay, I have a question right now. Okay, let me go. Let me bring it to the stage and let me switch for Instagram viewers. Okay, here it is, a question. Ali wrote, I still haven't understood how to shift my attention to my usta. I keep getting stuck in my head. Good job writing. Thinking, hearing the word. I can't move my usta at the present moment. Wonderful question, Ali. And that's why I am telling you, actually, I was going to tell you today. I haven't talked about this. Look at people around. How much do they know about speaking? How much people around you know about speaking? How much do they understand how to do what you just have asked about? How much do parrots understand how to shift their attention to their little beak and speak with a beak? I'm talking about the parrots, right? How much? Of course, people around you have no idea what they do during speaking. They do it intuitively from birth. And how do they do it? Not because they're smart, not because they're sitting in their head, but because when they speak, they are in the state of so-called naturalness. Naturalness. And I'm sure you don't understand what it means. The same state of naturalness we are when we are walking, when we are typing on the computer, trusting our fingers to do the job, trusting our eyes to check, to look at what our fingers are doing, and simply just checking if our fingers are doing a good job. Okay? So the bottom line, that's a great example, Ali, of what's going on in the head of all people who stutter, who are not at the level of stutterer wrestlers already. They are already on a higher level. And I know, Ali, that you are at the level of being a student. We're going to go there in a second, right? So I'm going to hide your comment now, and I will go to your next question. So here is the next question of Ali. I'll show it to you guys on Instagram. Once again, I see there are some questions already on Instagram. Go to my YouTube channel, Live Stutter-Free. You're going to see everything much, much better than here on Instagram, where you simply see me, but you cannot see see me, but you cannot see well the screen. So here is what Ali wrote. Should I first hear the oral word and then move my usta, or should I speak directly from memory without hearing the word first? Excellent question again. And once again, it shows to me that you are at the level of being a student. So what you are doing at the moment, you are collecting knowledge. You want to learn about how people speak. That's great. But guess what? When people come to us, we unblock them. At the moment of unblocking, we lead each of our students to the state of the emptiness in the mind. After you have learned enough to be able to separate lies from truth, okay, after that, we need to divide the mind and the body. Here is the mind. Not the mind. Here is the mind. Here is the body. And by the way, the mind is not just here, it could be anywhere. We separate thinking and speaking because these are two totally different functions of our body, mind, computer. Once again, I'm going to repeat. Thinking and speaking are two totally not related with each other functions of the body, mind, computer. And when our students come to us, step in our classroom of the online School for Stutterers, we separate these two functions. We make sure that their mind is totally empty at this moment, and they are at the state of naturalness. They're not thinking about anything. They just focused on following our instructions. And the moment we see that their mind is empty, they don't ask questions anymore. See, Ali is still asking questions, right? So the moment you stop asking questions, we right away present the natural speech tools and how to use them. You follow our directions, instructions, and you begin speaking just like everyone else, just like parrots, just like all the babies, without thinking. I'm going to repeat, speak without thinking. That's the state of naturalness. When you don't think about how to do something, you just do it. You simply trust your body will do the right thing. Hope you understand my answer to your question. But Ali, because we have been communicating for quite some time, I'm going to answer your question directly. Should I first hear the oral word and then move my usta? No, it doesn't happen this way because number one, you don't know what it means. Hear the oral word. The oral word should be linked to the speech subject. Linked. It's like, okay, if you see this, you instantly, your memory has the name of this thing. What is this? Mouse, right? That's the mouse. Mouse. So you have this word melody in your auditory memory. And it's this memory of the melody is connected to the memory of your usta. And your usta automatically begins to do the job. Usta works automatically. That's how all people speak, and that's what all our students do in our classroom. Instantly. because they're not thinking about anything. You got to understand, when you think you cannot speak, as you have read in my book. Where is the book? Oh, I brought it elsewhere. Speech is a skill. When you read my book, Speech is a Skill, it shows to you that we all are using a body-mind computer. And when you are using thinking option, you cannot. I mean, you can focus on thinking, but they are totally different functions. So whenever you are attempting to hear the oral word, you cannot speak. It's impossible. Okay. So let me see if there are any questions here. No, I don't see. Okay. So quick reminder, if you are on Instagram, please switch to YouTube right away. So Ali, I hope you understood my answer. Let's go. Castle Geek. Hi, Anna. It's Kaylee. Fantastic info. Hi, Kaylee. Thank you for watching me. So let me continue with my presentation. Where were we? Okay, let me bring my notes because I can go everywhere. So let's begin the presentation. Actually, this is the beginning of the presentation. What I want to do, because we haven't finished it the last week, the podcast was going for 2.5 hours. I decided to stop it. I want to go back. Hopefully, it's going to be brief. I want to go back to the video of a so-called former stutterer and a speech coach by the name Marcus Lapp, who is a typical representative of a systemic approach towards stuttering. Oh, wait a second. We haven't completed describing the pyramid. Sorry. Let me go back to the picture that you see on your screen. So students is the one step before you can free yourself from stuttering. You need to become a student. So whenever you become a student, so let me go just quickly summarize. Whenever you are an eternal stutterer, you are in a constant state of depression, you're hopeless, you just don't know what to do about it, and you don't care what to do about it. Nobody tells you what to do about it, and you are not looking for the ways how to speak better. You are constantly bombarded with misinformation and you accept it. You always have negative feelings. You are filled with fears, blah, blah, blah. We talked about it. Then you go to the next step of treatment undergoers, and for some time you go to speech therapists, doctors, take drugs, and then eventually you realize that there is no other way to treat your condition, and you go back to depression. You're again feeling depressed. The third state is when you become a stutterer. Wrestlers, right? Again, aggression, you competing with people, I already explained. And you have ups and downs of training. And only when you have been through all these stages, you finally become a student. Usually it's my students, usually, because in all other systemic, conventional treatments for people who stutter, treatments or training, there are no students. There are patients, there are clients. They are people who are neurologically diseased, neurologically disordered, people who are born not the same way as all other people on the planet. They have some wrong wiring of the brain. They have something wrong with their breathing system, like all kinds of misinformation. I am the only English speaking person on the planet who is explaining the truth. You're not born abnormal. You're 100% a normal person. You have everything to speak just like all people on the planet, but your innate, natural speech is blocked for various reasons. Why? Maybe you're thinking too much, just like Ali. Maybe you don't have the memory of your usta yet. It's the instrument, the tool for speaking, the only tool for speaking we have. Maybe you are not familiar with the melodies of the words. So maybe this, maybe that. So there are many reasons. Only I, and of course my mentor, Mistress Nishko, can see instantly what the problem is. Only we at our school for stutterers. And that's the kind of one level in the pyramid of people, of the types of people who stutter, that separates you from getting rid of stuttering, finally getting rid of stuttering once and for all, permanently. So this is why we are going to look at the three ways. I guess we're going to mostly look at two ways. But let's look quickly. I'm going to change the picture. Okay, I'm going to remove this and show you this picture. So old versus new ways to handle stuttering. And as you see, people on Instagram don't see it. Here, you see this picture? So as you see, that I put both treatment and training methods together, because both of these methods to handle stuttering, they are old, outdated ways. They have been invented by the commercial system to take advantage of, first, misleading people, healthy people, and then providing different services to them for the rest of their lives. It's just a commercial project, business project. You got to understand, the system is interested in making money. They don't care. I mean, people do care, of course. People in the system, most of them, I believe, do care. They truly want to help you, but they do not have sufficient knowledge, sufficient training, sufficient experience to do it in a way that will truly unblock your confusion, unblock, like take handcuffs of your body and make you stutter free right away. That's what happens in our classroom. And that's what I'm going to tell you about today. So, and as you see, let me put myself back, back to stage. So as you see, the treatment and training ways, old ways, they are in red. No ways. We got to throw these ways to the trash container of the history. I don't know how to say it in English. I just translated it from Russian. The history trash bin. Throw them. They're outdated methods. The only way you can really unblock your natural, innate ability to speak like all normal people on the planet is to get unblocked. So, Ali, when you join the class in my school, 3-day class, not less, 3-day class, we will lead you to get unblocked, but we need to take your hand and walk you to the state of the empty mind. We don't want you to have any knowledge in your head. No knowledge in your head. That's the key. Because once again, I'm going to remind you that normally speaking, people do not have any knowledge about how they're supposed to speak. No knowledge. Their head is totally empty about speech, about anything else. They're not focused on that, right? So at this moment, I want us to have a little fun. I don't know if you have watched my yesterday's video I have uploaded to all my social media places. So let's have fun. I want you to watch the video. Okay, where is it? Oh, this one. Add to stage.
3 legs quickly moved along the path. A beetle.
Second, I don't want it to be. So I want you to watch my video. It's so funny to see myself in the video and see myself here because I did film and made this video yesterday. So I'm going to make the full screen like this. And I want you to see what happens when you begin to think. When your head becomes just too big, it's kind of explodes with too much information. Your mind becomes too heavy and it slows down the body. The mind is overloaded with information, and it doesn't matter whether it's good information or bad information. You have to have the empty mind to do anything. At the moment you want to do something with your body, your mind should be empty. Okay? You must be focused on just enjoying doing this, right? But what happens when you begin thinking about how to do it? Watch this amazing video. And okay, people on Instagram, here it is. Okay, I'm gonna make it bigger. Let me see if I can do it bigger. Nah, whatever, let's go. So why centipedes don't stutter? Have fun and please write a comment. Give me your feedback. As a little girl growing up in Russia, I heard the fable from my mother, a PhD professor in linguistics. Why centipedes don't stutter?
Once upon a time, there lived a centipede. One morning, she went out for a walk. As her 40 legs quickly moved along the path, a beetle approached her. "Hello," said the centipede.
"Hello.
The beetle replied,
I am so glad to meet you. I have always admired you.
"Really? Why?"
You have so many legs, and you always know which one to take the next step with. You have to be very smart not to get them mixed up."
"Oh, that's not that difficult," said the centipede, flattered that she was considered so smart. Then the centipede ran on, but suddenly thought, well, how do I know which leg to take the next step with? Right after she thought about it, she immediately lost her footing, stumbled, and fell on the ground.
Okay, do you see the centipede stuttering? That's very important to understand. Centipede started thinking about how to move her 40 legs, and she immediately fell down and started stumbling. She stumbled and fell on the ground immediately. Thinking and speaking, we need to separate them. And this is possible to do only in our unblocking classroom. So let's see what happened next.
She tried to get up, but as soon as she thought about which foot to start with, she stumbled and fell again. At that moment, a millipede passed by on the road. He had many more legs than the centipede, but they all obeyed him perfectly. The poor centipede exclaimed, "I don't understand how you do it. Please advise me." The millipede replied,
"The main thing is not to think about it. Think about something else."
"Thank you, I'll try," said the centipede. She looked around and noticed a tall mud volcano. Then she decided, "I'll climb that volcano." Without thinking about anything else, she hurried to the mud hill and didn't even notice how her 40 legs instantly obeyed and quickly brought her to the top of the volcano. This time, she didn't lose her footing, stumble, or fall on the ground. Everything happened naturally on its own. And the beetle, who had only...
Okay, I want to comment on this. You gotta understand, You see what happened to the centipede. The moment she saw where she wanted to go, she just focused on the where she wanted to go, and everything happened naturally. 40 legs started to move in sync, in coordination, and she didn't even notice how she made it to that. Let me go myself. She didn't even notice how she made back. I'm not back. How she made her legs brought her to the top of the mud hill, right? It happened naturally because she stopped thinking about how to move her legs to walk. It's a perfect example. That's why I was having fun creating this video, because you cannot demonstrate it what people who stutter do when they, instead of speaking, begin thinking. But yeah, let's continue. Let's finish the video. Okay, here we go.
6 legs, watched with admiration as she so easily climbed a tall mud volcano.
So, a lesson for those who stutter. If you want to do something well, then you gotta know what to do, like not now, but before. It has to be already learned. You have to have a skill to do it. But in order to learn how to do it, you have to be unblocked. Unblocked. I would say 99.9% of people who stutter know how to do it, but they are blocked and they cannot access their natural, innate speech, unfortunately. This is why when they attempt to speak, they can't access their natural speech. They begin speaking how to do it, and they begin to stumble, to stutter, just like a centipede. So let's finish my video. This story should serve as a lesson for people who stutter when, instead of speaking, they begin to think. See? How do you like my background yesterday? Because I mentioned my mother, who was a PhD professor in Russia. I decided to show the Russian matryoshkas, Russian nesting dolls. I love them because that's who people are. We are kind of nesting dolls coming one from another. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so let me go back to myself and go back here. I guess I haven't forgotten anything yet. So write to me, how did you like my presentation about why most people stutter when they are at the stage already of being a student? So you got to become a student, of course. Why do you need to be a student? Write to me. Why? I don't see too many people talking to me. I mean, I see a few people watching, but write to me your questions, guys. Nothing is going to change in your life if you don't take control for yourself, for your life. Take the remote control. Write questions, type questions. Because until you begin asking questions, you're going to be at the lowest part of the pyramid, at the bottom of the pyramid. You got to continue to be an eternal, forgot the word. See, I didn't have the word in my memory at the moment. An eternal stutterer. Begin asking a question. Become a student. That's very important. Become a student in life. Become a student. Then when you step in my classroom, we of course are gonna lead you to the state when you don't think about anything. Right. So when you become a student, you gain the knowledge and you are able to separate the truths from the lies. You're gonna see a clear picture of reality. That's what it is. Okie dokie. Let me see if there are any questions so far. Okay, let me push the button. Ali wrote, Miss Anna, how do we instantly shift from thinking to speaking? For instance, when someone asks me my name, I keep thinking, hearing my name inside my head, and can't move my usta. I think that you already know the answer because I have answered to you. Your access to the natural state when we speak is blocked. It's blocked. You can't access there. Something is blocked. This is why you begin thinking. You begin thinking, hearing, doing this, doing that. That's all wrong. No. So in order for you to use the knowledge, what knowledge do parrots have? What knowledge do all people on the planet have when they speak without knowing anything about speaking? You need to get in the state when you don't know anything about speaking, but speaking just like everyone else. This can happen only in our classroom, only. And I will share with you that it has happened many times when our students stepped in the classroom, got unblocked, were happy, jumping up and down, but after they left our classroom, all of a sudden they forgot the restriction that were prescribed to them by us, the teachers, the unblockers. We are the masters of unblocking. We explained to our students no conversations about speech, about stuttering, no attempts to analyze, to explain to anyone what you were doing during the class. Nothing. Stay away from ignorant people. They don't know what happened in the classroom. And even you do not know what was going on in the classroom at the moment when you were unblocked. After all, it's not your job. It's our job. Mr. Snishko and I, by the way, this is the reason that for 13 years, I always bring Mr. Snishko in the classroom. Of course, today I see what he is doing and why he is doing it this and that way. But in the beginning, even I couldn't understand. Wow, looks like a miracle. How did he do that? A person didn't understand anything. He was just thinking, was not sure how to speak. But in a couple of hours, sometimes half an hour, all of a sudden a person would begin speaking like no stuttering has ever happened to him, totally unblocked. Today, of course, I understand what Mr. Snishko is doing, but I still love having him around because sometimes we do deal with people who are so irrational, so lacking of knowledge. Unfortunately, sometimes people are on the borderline of being schizophrenics. We work with this kind of people because it's just different part of their body mind computer is blocked. It's the mind part that is blocked. Mental functions are blocked. So, and in order to speak, you gotta be unblocked completely. Then, Ali, you would be able to instantly begin speaking like everyone else. You don't need to shift from thinking to speaking, because when people speak, they don't think. That's the bottom line. You don't think. And when people are in our classroom, we simply explain to them what it means to think. Okay. So I hope to see you soon in our classroom. Okay. There are more questions. Let's go. Miss Anna, okay, let's write. Let's see what he wrote. Ali, thank you for your question. You're not allowing me to continue with my presentation, and I've been live already for 15 minutes. I hope we have more time to go over the whole thing. Miss Anna, how do we instantly shift from thinking to speaking? Wait a second, I just answered that question. For instance, when someone asks, oh, I already answered that question. Okay, let me see what's here. Jabran Sohail. I just want you to have this example. Jabran, I don't know how to say your name out loud. I don't know the melody of these two words in my mind. Don't have it. Okay? So this is why the way I read could be wrong. I could read the words incorrectly. That's why, of course, I apologize if I say incorrectly your name. However, this is a great example to show to you that every person who stutters needs to have the memory not of written words, but of the oral words. The words for this part of the body, not for this part of the body. I'm sure Ali understands this, right, Ali? Okie dokie. Let's continue. And by the way, thank you very much for your calm and great work. But I am encouraging you guys, type questions. If you don't have questions, then I say, good job, Anna. You explained everything correctly and clearly. People do not have questions. This is how I work with my students. I work with them up until the moment when they are in the naturalness of the body, mind, computer. They are speaking naturally without thinking, without doing anything special, without trying to choose what technique they should use, should apply. Nothing. Their mind is 100% empty, and they no longer ask me any questions. Okie dokie. No more questions. It's funny how people on Instagram, I see someone is watching me, but still I don't understand why no one is asking questions. A quick reminder, people on Instagram, go to my YouTube channel and see what I am presenting. I use great visuals to get my point across. So right now we are going to where we stopped last week. Where did we stop last week? Let me see. I have my notes right here on the screen. Is this the one? Okay, so let's go for, hopefully not for long, to the video of Mr. Marcus Lapp, where he was criticizing Anna Dieter. Let me see where it is. Old versus this one, add to the stage. Oh, I need to get rid of, no, I don't want to remove myself. Okay. Yeah, remove. Ugh. One day I will remember how to deal with this, guys. Bear with me. Okay, this is the video that I also was thinking of using, but I don't want to use it now. Let me add to stop screen. Okay. No, wait a second. Okay. So settings. No, that's not what I want. Bear with me, guys. Where is screening? Oh, present. Present. Share screen. Share screen. Right, that's where I need to go. Okay, here is what I want you guys to go to. And I already switched to the spot stop stuttering in 3 days. Ex-stutterer critiques Anna Dieter's method. That's where I want you guys to go with me. Here we go. That's where we stopped last week. We went through many, many things Marcus has said. And once again, I got nothing against this nice gentleman. He appears very genuine. He appears that he truly wants to help people who stutter, but he is a typical systemic specialist. He himself believes that people need to train. He believes in the outdated old way to handle this condition, so-called stuttering disorder, with endless methods, techniques, tips, tricks, and what's the most important, aggressive trainings. That's what he gives to his clients as a speech coach. And by the way, a speech coach who stutters himself is really not a good coach to me, because once again, how do we speak? We speak in a way just like parrots. We imitate those who are around us. We are parrots. So if you are trained by a coach who stutters, that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be imitating his ways of speaking. And by the way, I'm going to remind to you that Marcus himself speaks in a very strenuous way. He stutters himself. He repeats words. He even has a special way how to speak by repeating words, which is stuttering. Why would you repeat a word? He avoids one of the most important natural tools for speaking, which is called the meaningful pause. But he avoids this. He encourages people to say more than one meaningful word at a time. Anyway, we're going to talk about it. I'm just jumping ahead. Let's go. So it's 11:45. Let's see what he said over there. Come on. Why it's not playing? I can't. Can I? I have to go to YouTube to play it. Okay, I'll play it here. Just listen to what he has said. Again, he claims himself as an ex-stammerer, but he stutters. I hear in the way he speaks, he is thinking a lot and he stumbles all the time.
Is taking the fluency habit or the fluency program in the brain, as I like to call it, that does already exist because you already likely have certain situations that
you already have certain situation. That's what he teaches. He teaches to repeat words. Why? You already have said the word have. Why repeat again? Because he believes wrong things.
That you speak fluently. So what do? We strengthen that. We fuel that. We work in service of making that habit as strong as possible, making that program, the supreme program in the brain when it comes to speech. And over time, you can reach this place. But this idea that it's a switch that you can just turn on and then you talk like everyone else, again, I know I keep coming back to this, but doesn't this sound kind of insulting?
Okay. So let me go back. He has said a mouthful of things. So he has said, number one, that people cannot switch quickly from doing wrong to being right. That's totally wrong. Of course we can. And I have given an example of riding a bicycle backwards. You may be learning to just ride a bike. Let's say you live on the moon, you have never seen how normal people ride bikes, and you were walking on the moon street, you found the old bike and you said, wow, that's a very interesting thing with the wheels. Let me see how Earth people use this bike. And the person sits backwards and attempts to move the pedals backwards, or even move the pedals in the right way, but attempts to ride the bicycle backwards. Is it going to be easy? Of course not, but you can do it if you learn to do it, if you learn to use your body and mind in the way to ride the bicycle backwards. But then some space person comes from Earth, he looks at the moon person riding the bicycle backwards, and he tells him, no, guy, we don't ride bicycles on Earth in this way. Look, turn around and grab the steering wheel and move the pedals and see how comfortable you're going to be. Guess what? Even the moon person will be riding the bicycle correctly right away. So Marcus also mentioned that it's impossible to switch so quickly, and it's very wrong, and it's insulting, and it's very difficult. Once again, why? Because he has no idea what we are doing. And at this moment, I actually want to read off my script. So once again, stutterers can easily switch from bad speech behavior to good, but they just don't know how. They don't know how. There is no alternative. Why? Speech therapists and trainers like Marcus don't know how to switch people who stutter. And they openly report that they don't have such powers and knowledge and experience. Do you see? Marcus just told you he doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't have the knowledge, doesn't have experience. That's why it's very difficult for him to do it. This is why these systemic people talk and give advice based on their impotence and ignorance. I'm sorry to say that, Marcus, you look like a nice guy, but you need to get unblocked yourself. Then you may have become an unblocker. I don't know. I kind of can give you a chance, but you gotta take the class and unblock yourself from all this, clear your mind from all these old ideas about training. All people can switch instantly, and it's been proved already, even by the neuroscientists who talk about neurogenesis, that people can learn to do anything. They can learn a new habit in only 3 days, and after that they can just get used to it, and they can do it better and better, just getting used to it. That's what it is. We teach people, we give them a chance to learn a new habit in only 3 days, but then they need just to get used to it. So it is in the will of any person on the planet, all people on the planet, but if they don't know how, or are not motivated to find out how and what to switch to, then it is really impossible for them. So any stutterer has this ability by nature, and you have to be dumb to deny the instantaneous ability of people to change their behavior by making a strong-willed decision to do things not the old way, but a new way, not from riding a bicycle backwards, but to riding a bicycle straight forward. That's how simple everything is. Stuttering is simply a lack of an alternative. You don't know what to do during the speech. You have never kind of experienced it other than when you were very young and you were still unconscious enough to be in the state of naturalness. You were just blah, 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 blah. You spoke a little kid, just imitating like a parrot, your mommy, daddy, your teachers, but you didn't know anything about speech and you were speaking. It is when you started thinking about how to speak, when kind people started to refer you to speech therapists, to doctors about the way you are speaking incorrectly, and you started getting wrong advices, that's when you started experience difficulty speaking. Too much information. Your head was too heavy and your information, the information, I would say even misinformation, was slowing down the natural process of speaking. Natural process. Thank you, by the way, for the hearts. Savanan South. Right. Oh, what's the strategies I can just take to keep myself from stuttering? I need advice. If you need advice, it means you are a student. No matter how old you are in the state of being a student. Go to my YouTube channel, Savan. Don't know how to say. I'm going to call you Savan. Okay, go to YouTube and see the pyramid and see you are at the last state of stuttering. You are already a student, but you need to get unblocked. If you, over the course of so many years, have not been able to unblock yourself, chances are you're gonna, unfortunately, sorry to say that, but you will continue to stutter for the rest of your life. You will die a stutterer. Just the bottom line. You will die a stutterer. If you truly want to unblock yourself and stop thinking about how to speak, you got to step inside of my classroom and get unblocked in only 3 days. And then, of course, we kind of restart. We download this program in your mind. What is it that all normal people on the planet, babies, parents, what is it everyone who has the natural gift of being able to imitate and speak just like a parrot, right? How do they use their natural, innate speech instruments? You do have your natural speech, but it's still blocked. You don't have access to it. This is why you cannot speak just like everyone else naturally without thinking about anything. Okay, thank you for the question. By the way, it's the first question in Instagram. So let me continue. As I already mentioned, that all people can switch instantly. It's in their will, but they don't know or are not motivated to find out how and what to switch to. The bottom line, you don't have the alternative. You don't know. There are two roads. One road is the old, outdated road, the training, the treatments, right? And the other road is the new revolutionary way called unblocking. You got to switch to being artificial with all this training and treatments to being natural, the way Mother Nature has created you. Natural. Thank you for the like. Okay. Be natural. Get unblocked and enjoy your stutter-free life, the rest of your stutter-free life. So let me continue. And another example I'm going to give to you, it's like being on a crossroads, right? So a person can suddenly take a different path only if he sees this path. There are two roads, right? You are walking here, but if you don't see the other road, you're going to have to continue walking on this road. Only if you see another road, yes, you can quickly switch from here to here. I don't know how else to explain it to you and people like Marcus. It can happen instantly, switching the path. If you see it, if someone's kind of shows to you, if someone kind of holds the light, here is another road, go walk on it. So, but no one unfortunately shows this path to people who stutter. Instead, all people like speech therapists and speech trainers like Marcus constantly convince stutterers that there is no other path. And stutterers must get used to doing and living in the old way. But I am here to tell you, only the ignorant ones do not see the other way and suggest that there is none, that you have to train and treat. No, only the ignorant ones. Because if you're listening to this podcast, of course you have been through all these stages, all these states that I showed to you in the pyramid. You have tried the treatment. You have tried the training. You have started already learning. You have become a student, but you haven't been unblocked yet. Okay? Stuttering is indeed a bad habit of incorrect speech behavior. I agree when Marcus have said that it's a bad habit. Yes. However, stutterers get used to it only because they don't see another way. They don't know, they're not familiar with another way. Because another way of forming their natural speech skill is hidden from them. Hidden. They don't have access to it. Any person gets used to something bad only because he has no other way. Why children begin drinking? Because the parents are drinking alcohol. Why children begin smoking? Because they see parents, or people on TV smoking and they believe it's cool. They don't see another way, or it's not in their like favorite. Again, they don't see the way in the new, to the new life. But such a new way exists, and we are ready to show this new way to any person who has become a student but still stutters, still thinks too much, and that's why stutters. So, and here I have to tell you that all speech therapists and trainers like Marcus suggest that there is no other way to handle stuttering. They hold on their old ways, remain ignorant, and reason based on their old, outdated perception. But we have another, more reasonable vision and offer a perfect, much more efficient way for those who stutter. And we are ready to show it to anyone joining our school, enrolled in our school. Stuttering is a bad habit of a person who simply doesn't know how to behave well in speech. They are forced to speak in an abnormal way, not like everyone else. But as soon as we show them how to speak naturally, they immediately change their behavior. Habit is not some kind of irresistible force. No, the way Marcus just said, that it's a very strong, unconscious habit. No, it's not some kind of an irresistible force. No, it's simply the lack of alternatives. You got to understand it. Only ignorant people who do not see an alternative method, an alternative path, develop bad habits. Okay? And also, Marcus has said another thing. He has said that you can, of course, sometime in the future, you can find fluency. That's not true. Number one, fluency doesn't exist. It's again a concept invented by the system. Speech fluency is a concept invented by the commercial system. It's a lie. It's a concept invented by a commercial system profiting from first misleading millions of people and then treating and training them for the rest of their life. People are totally healthy, but they're misled, and people do not see the other way. So the system gives them only one way. You gotta treat or train your speech. And people who stutter do not see the way. They can simply become normal, naturally normal, like everyone else on the planet, and even parrots. Okay, let me wave. So let me see what else. Strengthening the fluency habit. Yeah. So what I'm saying that, oh, he also mentioned in that little passage I played, he says that, what did he say? I wrote it down. The fluency program in the brain, that people who stutter has the fluency program in the brain because you speak fluently in certain situations. I mean, I don't like the way he presents it, the fluency program in the brain, but in a way it's right. Yes. And that's exactly what I'm telling you. You have not the fluency, but you have the program in your mind, not the brain, and in the mind to speak like all people on the planet, but you are blocked. That's the problem. You are blocked. The access to this program is blocked. And you were born with a normal speech but cannot access it. It's blocked because of various reasons again. And what these reasons are, you need to come to us. We will determine why. Why can't you speak like everyone else? What is blocked? We take the shackles of your mind and body computer, and you're going to instantly begin speaking like everyone else. And of course, after that, we have to go. Even we have to go. You don't need any advisor. You have to be left with you and your body-mind computer. He also, I don't want to play the video because it's, again, too long. Again, the video, the podcast is too long. Or maybe we can. Okay. Is she for real? It's, he doesn't know. This is also important. 12:13. Let me go and show it to you. 12:13. Okay, let me go to the video. That's a wrong one. I don't want to use this one. Yeah, 12:13. Let me go. Is it 12:13? Where she asks, is Anna Dieter is for real? Let me have them say this.
We work in service of making that habit as strong as possible, making that program, the supreme program.
See, again, when he says we work strong, by these words, I can tell you that he is pushing, he is training. And when you push, guess what happens? You strain your body. It's just training. Yes, you can have a little improvement, but then you get tired of pushing your body all the time and you lose the strength. That's the property of all training.
Program in the brain when it comes to speech. And over time, you can reach this place. But this idea that it's a switch that you can just turn on and then you talk like everyone else, again, I come I know I keep coming back to this.
Yes, he talks about it, that it's impossible. Yes, it is possible. When you know that in order to ride a bicycle, you can't ride a bicycle sitting backwards. Remember the example I used when you go to the moon and you learn how to ride a bicycle backwards, and then the earth person comes to you and tells you, hey guy, you're not riding a bicycle correctly, turn around, sit on the bicycle, grab the steering wheel and ride this bicycle. It's immediately you have to have an alternative. That's what we give to all people who stutter. But he doesn't have it. That's why he doesn't understand that, yes, it happens instantly. When you know what it means to speak like everyone else on the planet, following the natural norms, you just do it instantly.
But doesn't this sound kind of insulting? It's like,
Does it sound insulting? Of course, he plays by the feelings of people who stutter. No, it doesn't sound insulting. It sounds the truth. That's how the truth works. It sounds very, very powerful because he doesn't understand what I'm doing. And to him, it sounds insulting. I insult his feelings because he doesn't understand what is it I'm talking about. And in a way, I want him to listen to this video and to come to me, take the class, unblock his own natural speech. He has it. He can speak without repetition, without stumbling, without emphasizing consonant sounds, without fighting, just relaxing. He can do it, but he still believes in the garbage, which is, what is it? The two things I showed to you, the stuttering techniques or stuttering treatment. Treatment and techniques. Okay, I don't understand. I didn't write down, I guess, the correct page numbers. So where am I? Here, I'm going to go back. Boo, 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 boo. Okie dokie. Where was I? I need to bring this to the stage. So what he said, strengthening the fluency habit, that's what he wants. I don't remember where it was. I thought I found it, 11:45. Maybe it is 11:45. Let me see. Is it 11:45? No. 11:45. Let me go back. Okay, let me see what he's going to say here.
The fluency habit or the fluency program in the brain, as I like to call it.
Okay. So strengthening the fluency habit, the fluency program in the brain, as I like to call it, that does really exist. Okay, I'll let him say it. 11:45. Say it, guy. 11:45. 11:45. Let me say it, and then I'll stop him, and I will comment on this.
This is taking the fluency habit or the fluency program in the brain, as I like to call it, that does already exist because you already likely have certain situations that you speak fluently. So what do? We strengthen that. We fuel that.
So this is what he has said. And here we go. I like to call it, okay, that does already exist because you speak fluently in certain situations, right? So yes, you were born with normal speech. You can speak normally like all people on the planet. You can speak just like I, right away. But you don't have access to it at the moment. At the moment, you block yourself. Your access to the normal way of speaking is blocked because of various reasons. What are those reasons? Because in a way of people like Marcus. I think that's his name, right? Marcus. He gives you a lot of misinformation and you believe it and you follow people like Marcus. These people belong to the system. Okay. And they want you to keep stuttering for the rest of your life, keep struggling for the rest of your life. They're nice people. They could be nice people, but they are very, very confused. Okie dokie. So, and the last thing I want to approach is she for real. Okay. He's talking about Anna Dieter 13. Let me go to 13. 13. 13. Here is 13. Let's see what he says.
So now the question is she for real? Like, is this possible that in 3 days that with her program that you could all of a sudden be fluent?
Number one, don't like the word fluent because it doesn't exist. Fluency doesn't exist. Fluency exists only when we pour water, for example. We have water in this container, we pour it in another container, and for as long as we have water here and we steady apply the pressure to this container, we pour water from one container to another, the water will be fluently floating to another container. But what will happen when we don't have anything left in this container? We're going to have to stop. Fluency is a very much misleading word in terms of speaking. So, can you be fluent in 3 days? Oh, that's what he is asking. That's what I need him to tell you.
The answer to that is yes, with a big old caveat. But it's actually yes, it is possible. It's very possible, actually, that you could overcome stuttering in the span of those 3 days. But you know what?
Okay, so he kind of being politically correct because he can see like close to, I don't know how many hundreds of videos I have, a lot, don't even know, 600 videos or something. He kind of takes this idea that yes, you can begin speaking just in a few hours after unblocking yourself, but he's being kind of safe. And he said, can you be fluent in 3 days? He says, yes, but it's not a big accomplishment at all. That's what he says. I can get you to the same stage. That's what he says. That's not a reality. Because a person like this gentleman cannot help you because he stutters himself and his mind is completely filled with misinformation. He doesn't know what it means to speak without using any techniques, just being normal. He is always, let me have you say more because I wrote the answer here briefly, but I don't remember what I meant. What is it that he said?
That is not much of an accomplishment.
See, he says that's not much of an accomplishment because he has gone through this. He has been there. He has given people things like repeating words and doing all kinds of techniques, using techniques. He doesn't believe it's an accomplishment. He doesn't believe that the way I speak at the moment, without repeating anything and just going through word by word, it's not an accomplishment. Do you agree? It's not an accomplishment? But let me see what else he has said.
All. If I work with you for 3 days, we are bound to find a certain
see what he is doing? Oh, sorry, I'm not showing it to you here. See, look at his face. That's the face of a stutterer, guys. And he says that what I am doing and he is doing is the same. Okay, let's see how he is dealing when he doesn't know what he wants to say.
levels or certain, where we can start
Did you
close.
hear he doesn't know what naturally normal speaking is. Doesn't know. He's not aware of that. This is why he stumbles himself. And whenever people come to this gentleman, and I'm not having any hard feelings toward this gentleman, there are many, many others. So when people who start to come to specialists like this gentleman, they resonate, of course, with this kind of people because he is explaining things that are everywhere, all over the place. And once again, that's what makes you confused, because of people like Marcus. Oh, sorry. Did they say his name correctly? Doesn't matter. There are so many people. And they begin speaking because they begin thinking about how to speak, because that's what they do.
On a particular plane, and we find fluency in a particular way, and then we just keep repeating that, and I get you to keep repeating that. And
yeah, that's what he believes. No, I don't work like this, Marcus. The way my students speak is totally different. They speak according to the nature, Mother Nature. And whenever my students, let me get back. You don't need to see my script. So whenever my students get unblocked, I go away, because I believe that the third person is always extra. You don't need me. The moment you begin speaking according to the way Mother Nature has equipped you with everything you need to speak, the person who gave you information must go. You don't need me. It's already going to be dependent. You would be dependent on what Anna has to say. No, you gotta depend only on you and your own body, nothing else. And I say the third is always extra. The third person always has to go. Okay? So, and also Anna says, he also has said that Anna is a scam. I don't want to show it to you anymore. So let's go. I am going to take him off the stage. So Marcus, you gotta come to me, and I would be happy to equip you with a new information. New, it's not new, it's old like the world, but it would be new for you. You appear as a nice gentleman, but the knowledge is really outdated. The knowledge you have in your mind and the knowledge you're using about speech and stuttering is very old. But you're still a young guy. It's not late to learn the truth about what speech is, what speaking is, the same, what stuttering is, right? Okay. Let's see, we have questions here. Miss Anna, how do we instantly shift from thinking to speaking? Let me push the button. Okay. Hi, Ali, once again. Let me show to people here. Here is what you see, okay, for people on Instagram. Hi, Miss Anna, how do we instantly shift from thinking to speaking? For instance, when someone asks me my name, I keep thinking, hearing my name inside my head, and can't move my usta. Yay, that's a perfect, absolutely perfect example. Perfect question. I love it. You can't. You can't, because you're still too much in your head. You got to take the class. You got to do it instantly. We lead you during the unblocking process. We lead you to clear your mind from everything you have learned, everything, clear your mind completely. And when we see that you are ready, you no longer have any questions. That's how we work. We allow you to ask questions. Then we allow you to experience perfect speech. And then when you are ready to stop asking questions, then we simply lead you to use your body, mind, computer in the natural way. Natural way, when people don't think how to say it. I never think how to say anything. I just do. My body and mind work together. And they do an excellent job. Sometimes I also may stumble. But I immediately realize, hey, Anna, you got to give your body and mind work together as a team. So to answer your question, you got to take the class in order to shift from speaking to thinking. At the moment, you have a big head. You have a lot of information. You have read a lot of books. And if I'm not mistaken, I have even sent you this book, the latest book that I would like you to talk about, to tell me about, because I remember that I have sent you this book, right? Correct me if I'm mistaken. Are you the one that I sent the book for free? Did I do it? So the bottom line, the moment you stop thinking about anything, you're ready to simply shift from thinking to speaking. Otherwise, it's impossible. It's impossible. When someone asks me my name, you shouldn't be thinking about it. It's in the memory of your usta memory. Don't know if you understand me what I'm talking about. It's the Russian word that I'm using in all my books, usta. If it's in the memory of your usta, then your usta will work automatically. You don't need to think about it. It works automatically. But if you begin thinking about it, it's impossible. Impossible to move the usta when your usta becomes blocked because you're thinking. You're not here, you're here. And you gotta be here, if you understand me. Okie dokie. So let me hide this comment. There is another comment here. Great talk. Jabran Sohail. Hi. Thank you for the compliment. Great talk. It means that you understand what I am saying. And this is a great compliment for me and very pleasant to my heart. Thank you so much for this comment. Let me take you off stage. Go to the next one. How do you manage to make people unlearn what they have practiced for so many years? Yes, that's a great question. We just shift their attention. That's it. That's all it takes. We work with people and we communicate with them. We discuss things up until the point when they stop asking questions. Because when people who stutter, who already are students who stutter, they come in our classroom, and for as long as they ask questions, we answer. We lead them to the way where everything is clear and they stop answering questions. Stop answering questions, literally. After that, guess what? Their mind is clear and they are ready to take the correct information. And that's when we go to the process of unblocking, which happens almost instantly. We present very briefly the information. It is when we have to explain too much, then the student's head becomes this big and the student becomes confused. That's when we have a difficult time to help a person to unblock quickly. And that's when we go for hours, and sometimes I even schedule day number 4. But honestly, it has happened only one time. Only one time, when a person quit and ran away from me. He said he needed time, blah, blah, blah. So the bottom line, the person asked for a break. I gave him the break, and that was my mistake. So the bottom line is that if you want to learn if you want to unblock your body and mind computer, because that's what you have, body and mind computer, it happens instantly, right away. But of course, you got to be prepped. We do it in a great way. And by the way, the younger you are, the less misinformation you have in your memory, the easier it is. So if you are a parent listening to this podcast, I strongly recommend, don't wait for too long. Take the class as soon as possible. Okay? So, and it doesn't matter for how many years you have been following the wrong advice, you have been practicing things that you were doing incorrectly. The moment you understand how to do it correctly, you instantly switch to that way, and that's it. Because it's so pleasant when you speak without stumbling. It's so pleasant. No stumbles, no blocks, no difficulty. It's so pleasant that you don't have to go backwards. You don't have to go and struggle anymore. However, it does happen when people attempt to ruin the very important rule called the quarantine. Quarantine for people who graduated from our class. When they begin, because when you begin sharing the information you learned with the class, it's a broken information. You don't know what we did, Mr. Snishko and I did, to unblock you so quickly. We are the masters. So when you go through unblocking process, it usually happens very quickly. But you don't know what we did. You have no idea what we did. That's why when you attempt to explain it to someone else, you inevitably will become confused and you inevitably will become blocked instantly. This is why we recommend you have a quarantine. You stick to the quarantine. When, by the way, you don't need to be there. Let me bring you, wave. When wait. Come on. Okay. So this is why I truly recommend you stay quarantined. We call it a quarantine. No telling. You can communicate all you want, but you are not trying to analyze what we have done. Not you. We have done with your body, mind, computer. We led you to unblock your body, mind, computer. We did it. We are the masters, not you. Your job is just to follow the instructions you have received in this class. Enjoy your speech. Nothing else. Okay? Without trying to analyze how you do it so well. Wow. Just enjoy your natural speech because you were not the one who unblocked yourself. I hope, Jabran, you understand my answer. So, and let me see what now Ali has asked. How do you manage? Okay. Ifran. I didn't even know Ifran or Ifran. I don't even know how your name sounds. After reading your books, watching videos, I have fixed my mistakes. Wait a second. I'm going to show this to Instagram people. Look what a person who simply read my books, what he wrote. After reading your books, watching your videos, I have fixed my mistakes. The only problem now I have is I don't know how to shift from thinking to speaking at the moment. Hopefully, I understand this sooner. Great comment. Thank you so much for the comment. But this is the most important part, my dear. The most. And once again, yes, you can take years. It can take years before you learn to do that. It can take years for you to shift from thinking to doing it. So I recommend take at least one day of the class, which is much less expensive. It takes much less investment, financial investment. If you have learned so much, I guess one day may be enough for you, because we do offer one day of the class, which is, what is it, $2,000. It's much less than investment of $6,000, or just recently we have been doing it for twice less, $3,000. But that's what it takes to switch from stuttering to being a rational speaker. 3 days only. Change your mind. So hopefully I understand this sooner. You may not understand it until you take the class. I don't know. Okay, Ali would be really, I am actually excited, can't wait to have you in my class as a student. You can take just one day of the class, which is again, much cheaper. Okay, how much do you charge for classes? You know what? It's a question for private conversation already, because money is just comes and goes. It's more expensive, less expensive. It used to be much more expensive before the COVID time, when people had access to actually work and make money. Now it's much less. So it depends what kind of person you are. I kind of analyze when you come to me, but it is from $6,000 to $3,000 for the full 3-day class, speech and blocking. From $3,000 to $6,000, and it's a 100% guaranteed freedom of your life. Freedom, speech freedom of your life. So it could be 50% less or the full price. It just depends on the time when you come to me, but you have to pay for your transformation, because no one else on the whole planet can provide you with this solution. No one. It's up to you. So here is what Ali wrote. Irfan Ali. Yes, you have sent me the book and I have finished reading it as well. So tell me your impression. I would really appreciate if you write to me what is it that you think about the book. I want to see how you understood it and what you have learned from the book. Because yes, we can learn from the book something, not everything. The only thing that you can't get from the book is practical application, unfortunately. But thank you for this comment. So write to me. I am really interested, and so probably are other people who have joined this podcast. So write to me, what is it that you learned from the book? Okay, there are no other comments. I guess, again, I didn't have the time to finish everything. It's already going close to to our live stream. I don't like to do it for such a long time, but let's see. No more questions. And let me finish what I wrote here, my presentation. So I actually wrote some comments about the Marcus's, the gentleman you saw from the video, words. So no matter how much Marcus assures that he too can achieve, that his ward will speak without stuttering in just 3 days, he's not telling the truth. I didn't let you see it. He was telling in that video that I stopped, that he can also achieve perfect speech in 3 days. Number one, he cannot help a person to achieve perfect speech simply because that he himself stutters. He stutters himself all the time. He makes mistakes like repetitions. He goes all the way back and forth. He stumbles himself. He is not speaking naturally. I can see the tension in his body when he speaks. So, and for as long as he believes in the way he does it, he will not be able to help you achieve the naturally perfect speech in even 100 years. It's impossible because he himself is not, the way you like to say, fluent. I don't like this word, but you guys understand fluent. Fluency can be achieved only by doing it in the naturally normal way. After all, even a Neanderthal, like prehistorical man, cannot build an airplane. But this does not mean that there are no people who have the necessary knowledge, skills, and experience to do it very easily. In the same way, Marcus only knows the path of speech training. You see, he knows the speech training method is known for him. We offer absolutely another way, another path. It's called unblocking, which is not training, but simply entering a state of pure naturalness. Excuse me. Pure naturalness. Normal people speak naturally without any training. You got to understand, when people step in our classroom, we do not train them. We simply allow them to enter the state of natural speech. Therefore, naturalness cannot be trained. When you train, you achieve the result, and then you lose it. So once again, training is a sport. Winning and losing after any training are the forms in any sport. You may become a champion, but then you become a loser. Neither speech therapists nor any speech coaches consider the fact that a permanent result is impossible to achieve. See what I'm doing? I'm reading right now, and sometimes I'm making mistakes. I wrote it last week. I don't remember what I wrote. Okay. So neither speech therapists nor any speech coaches, coaches systemic from the system, speech coaches, consider the fact that a permanent result is impossible to achieve. Any winner will again become a loser. This is the outcome of any champion athlete. However, after unblocking, that's what we do, we unblock people. A person immediately becomes normal and independently normalize his behavior in any situation. Just look around. Normal people do not change their speech in different situations. How do they speak so well? We are ready to demonstrate this path to anyone who chooses to walk this path. This is not the path of training, but the path of nature, which is as impossible to lose as losing your nose, ears, and your tongue. They're always with you in any situation. Naturalness does not need to be trained. Mother Nature has given this gift. Okay, let me see if I am. Oh, yeah, I'm on. Okay, I thought I still was having myself little. I want it to be big. So, so this is not the path of training, but the path of nature, which is impossible to lose, as losing your nose, ears, and your tongue. They are always with you in any situation. Naturalness doesn't need to be trained. Mother Nature has given this gift to every person who stutters, but no one tells him or her about it. People who stutter do not need a trained result, which is short-lived and is easy to lose. People who stutter need to enter the state of eternal naturalness, which we in our classroom unblock in only 3 days, just like thousands of other system assistants. Marcus offer all the same old training methods, nothing new. The outcome of these trainings is known in advance, temporary improvement, and then a return to the initial difficulties. It's a waste of your time, work, and often money. Only unblocking can enable you to quickly enter the state of your naturalness and speak like all ordinary people forever. For 3 days, we simply do not have time for any training. Instead, we unblock your generally used natural. Instead, we unblock your generally used natural ability to speak like all normal people. Note that the words generally used and natural are the key ones. I'm going to repeat. Note that the words generally used and natural are the key ones. You see, Marcus doesn't offer stuttering anything new. He calls them to keep endlessly training because he is not aware of any other way. But training is a sport. A sport. Athletes always push themselves to go beyond the limits, achieve a result, but then they get tired and inevitably lose their achievement. It's a natural law. But there is another way, nature. This is not about treatment, training, hypnosis, or even magic. This is about our innate ability to speak. Every stutterer has such ability, but it is in a dormant state. It just needs to be awakened. The person who stutters needs to be awakened. The process of awakening happens as instantly as when you wake up in the morning, abruptly disconnect from nightmares. This is exactly what our way of unblocking is. We will wake you up, and you will wake up as a different person in only 3 days. All the methods of treatment and training techniques are your nightmare. It's time, guys. It's time to wake up from it as a normal person and speak naturally. So I guess on this great note, we're going to wrap it up. Unless you have any other questions, I have a lot of information to share with you. However, we'll talk about it next time. I'm not going to bring any Marcus's videos, but I will spend more time about just how you can get unblocked, how you can get unblocked in only 3 days in our classroom. You may not even understand how it happened, and that's the reality. None of our students understand what we did with them because it's our work. We don't need them to understand what they just did. We just want them to stop asking questions, clear their mind, and go through the unblocking process, begin speaking like everyone else on the planet, of course, within their vocabulary, oral vocabulary that they have right here. Of course, after going through the 3-day process, you're not going to begin speaking foreign language because you don't know those words, right? So if there are no okay, someone just asked on LinkedIn, let me see. Let me bring this person to the stage. Show. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, not now. Wait. I'm gonna go hide this because someone else. Great talk. Okay, Misana, how do we instantly shift from thinking? Okay, great talk. Jabran Sohail, again, I don't know. I haven't heard you say this word. I don't know. I don't have this in my memory of my usta. Thank you for your resume. Thank you for your kind of statement. Thank you. I love feedback. I always love feedback. Okay, here is another one. How do you manage to make people unlearn what they have practiced for so many years? Very easy, but it's easy for me, not for anyone else. I understand how the body and mind device works. We shift your attention, and the shifting of attention happens instantly. This is why we demand the so-called quarantine after the class. We demand that our students stop going to listening to other people. We want them to stay focused on what they have learned in the class and just unblock themselves and stop thinking about anything else. Everything they needed to think about, we have given to them during the class. From that moment on, no more thinking. No more thinking. You have received all the information you needed in a precise way. So, because that's what happens when people who begin thinking, they stop speaking. They were not the ones who unblocked them. We were. We knew what to do with them to shift them from thinking to speaking, from here to here. We knew what to do and we did our job. But if you begin thinking, then you leave this part of your body and go here, you can't speak. That's it. And you would have to come back to me. You would have to, again, get unblocked. It's like you're going through the process. Excuse me. Like, for example, you get dirty. Walking on the street, you get dirty. You go to the laundry place. You throw your clothes in the laundry. You clean it. You put the clean clothes on yourself. And right after you step outside from the laundry place in a clean clothes, you right away jump into the place where there is a lot of dirt. What happens to your clothes? You immediately become dirty, right? That's what happens. I want you to keep quarantine. Stay away from all the places where they talk about speech, stuttering, this and that. Stay away. We call it a quarantine, where you quarantine yourself from all people who stutter, from all stutterers, coaches, from all coaches who tell you, like Marcus, right? From all places, they give you drugs, la, la, la. So it's very, very important to understand that switching of our attention happens instantaneously. You could be doing wrong things for many, many years, but the moment you shift your attention elsewhere, that's it. You instantly begin using your body-mind computer correctly. I hope, Jabran, you understood what I just explained. Okay, another part of the messaging. Okay, this is what Ali wrote. After reading your books, watching your videos, I have fixed my mistakes. The only problem now I have is I don't know how to shift from thinking to speaking at the moment. Hopefully, I understand this sooner. Come to me for just a few hours. Do it practically under our supervision. Why do you need to wait? Whenever it comes to you, it's really hard to get rid of the mind. It's a crutch. You got to understand, in your case, Ali, that your thinking is a crutch. Your knowing everything is a crutch. You need to stop thinking about anything and just do it. But you need my help, Mr. Snishko's help. Come to us, at least for, I don't know, 1 day class. 1 day, it's 6 hours of my time, and Mr. Snishko may be present just for half an hour because you have read all the books. But you gotta get unblocked. You gotta stop thinking, because when we think, we can't speak. It's impossible to do. There are two different things. When we think, we use our mind. When we speak, we don't use our mind. We use this part of the body. They're totally different. Their mind programs us. And when we speak, we use the body. So thinking is the mind, speaking is the body. They work separately. You got to understand, and if you use one, you can't use the other one. We have one indivisible, focused beam of attention. Because you have read our book, you understand that. By the way, Ali, I would like you to go to my, what do you call it, Amazon account, because you have read the book. Could you please go there and write your review of the Awaken from Stuttering book? I haven't received any review yet. Could you please be the first one? Go. You have the book. Publish the review. And if you have difficulty publishing review, which I assume you should, because you haven't bought the book, you got it from me, right? So just let me know. I'll let you publish the review on Amazon, because the way you did, okay? You have taken the time to read the book, to understand it in the best way you could, and you are typing here. So I do recommend, go to Amazon.com, right? Amazon? Where? I forgot. I think it's Amazon. Amazon.com. Is that where my books are? Right. So publish your review, the review of your book. Just whatever you said to me here, publish it. And not just I, but thousands, millions of people who stutter will appreciate your review. Okay. So, and if you want to stop wasting your life, hopefully I understand this sooner, just come to me. 6 hours and you got it. That's it. Okie dokie. So hide. Let me see. Someone else wrote something here. I have a lot of writing today. Oh, here. I like that. Wow. After reading your books, I have fixed my. Oh, I just read it. Sorry. Click the same. Okay, here is another comment. How much do you charge for classes? It's from wait a second, from $2,000 to $6,000, depending on the time will you buy from me. If it's a whole class, of course, it's more time required. Sometimes it requires, if it's a 3-day class, sometimes I give up to 30 hours of my time. And my time as a very unique speech professional goes up to $200 in 1 hour. But of course, I go lower because that's what I consider myself a speech professional. As a speech professional, a very unique speech professional. But if you wanted the details, just schedule a call with me. Okay, require a free consultation with me, which is a 45-minute call. See, I just stumbled myself. Did you notice it? I did. So what did I do? I simply paused and switched to speaking like all normal people. That's it. Okie dokie, how much you charge for classes? Once again, I charge. The only reason I charge so I could keep going. I could continue because if people do not pay for a very unique information, then they're not going to value it. So you have to value what you receive from myself and Mr. Snishko, my mentor. Hide. So take the class. I recommend you can take one class or you can take 3-day class. I recommend 3-day class because I believe we have a very limited time in our life. Thank you very much for the balloons. Oh my God, Bailin is here. Good to see you, guy. Okay, so I see people who I have been communicating with. So let me see what else. How much would you charge for the class? I already told you. Let me see here. Okay, yes, you have sent me the book and I have finished reading it as well. Yep, I have sent my book to Ali free of charge because he has done so much work already. He has read all my books, previous books. That's why I really appreciate what he has done for people who stutter as a community of millions of people on the planet. And as my appreciation, I have sent him the book without charging anything. He's a very unique individual. But if you haven't read even one of my books, you haven't understood anything. Don't even ask me to do the same for you. Okay. Okay. Yes, I have. You have. Oh, thank you. That's what Ali wrote. Yes, you have sent me the book and I have finished reading it as well. Then write a review. Please write a review anywhere you can. You can send it to me privately. If you can't publish it, I'll have someone publish for me. I don't know how to do it. Anyway, yes, you can write a review. Real review. I can publish your review to the website. I can publish your review to Amazon.com where my books are available. Publish. Write a review. What is it that you think about it? Guys, become active. Stop believing the system. Excuse me. Stop believing the system. The system wants you to keep stuttering, working with a crutch, believing lies, and stutter for the rest of your life. So anyway, it's been 2 hours, 13 minutes. Okay, I gotta go now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the presentation next week. I'll see, because I'm going to go to the cataract procedure on my eye. Ugh. See, working too much, using my eyes too much, not good. But as soon as they remove the cataract from my eye, I will be able to go at least in a couple of weeks. I will be able to do a live stream again. However, I do recommend, guys, write to me. Schedule a live stream. I can wear dark glasses and talk to you, right? I still can do it. You don't need me to see things, right? So the bottom line, if you have questions, write questions to me. Communicate with me. Become active. Don't just listen to me and without asking questions. Lots of love to you. And if everything goes fine, I'll see you in 2 weeks. However, if you are ready to unblock your speech this week, just write to me. I'll wear dark glasses and I will help you unblock yourself in only 3 days. In only 3 days. Lots of love to you, my dear. And just few notes at the end of this long live stream. So what I do recommend you do. Number 1, go to my website and schedule livestutterfree.com. There you can schedule a call with me. It's a 45-minute huge transformation call. It's a very transformative call. Sometimes I give so much information that people don't feel they need to sign up for the class, but it happens very rare. Of course, most of the time, after communicating with me, people want 2 options. 1, they don't believe me, and then I didn't do a good job. Okay. And number 2, they understood everything and they get into the process of collecting funds for taking the class. Once again, this class is from $2,000 to $6,000, depending on the moment. Depending on the moment and on what you want. You want to get unblocked in 3 days? Let's do it. You want to do what Ali has been doing for years, my understanding, then you can do it. Listen to what I have said. Buy my books, read my books, do your best, la, 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 la. Keep living your life as a student. It's still much better than believing the BS about stuttering sickness, that you can't do anything about it, but train yourself with people like I just demonstrated to you. Nice looking gentleman, but completely confused himself. So the bottom line, you can take the 1-day class, which is introduction to the course. Introduction. And it's only $2,000. I cannot go lower than that. I can't. It's impossible because it requires a whole day of a class. And I give a lot of information. But then after you go through the class, which is $2,000 only, and then you decide whether you want to continue or you want to go and continue on your own. Okay? So, any other questions? Then again, the information at the end. What I do recommend, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Finally, subscribe, become proactive, stop hiding from the world. Be proactive. Let me see what's in your mind so I could help you. How can I help you if I don't hear you write to me? I mean, I hear, see. You can't speak, but you can write, right? So be proactive, write to me. I would love to answer all your questions. So you can go the short way, sign up for the 3-day class, and just forget about stuttering once and for all. or you can simply begin buying my books. They are available, a whole bunch of them. You can see, right? You can see. This is the latest one. God, I don't have them all here. I just put them on the bookshelves. I have so many books I have written over the course of 10 years. I'm actually teaching the program for 12 years, but I started writing 12 years ago. Yeah, 12, 11 years ago. The bottom line, number one, I make a request. Give me a like, please, because whenever you give likes to my videos, the system allows the video go viral. But you forget, you listen, you like it. See, I got so many good words, but who put the like under my video? Raise your hand. Did you do that? Let me see if you like the video. So far, I see only one like. I don't know why you're so stingy. Give me your likes, guys. Like, because when you like, the system can see that, oh, that's a good video. Let other people watch it. Okay. So what else I haven't said? Yeah, schedule the call with me. And what else? And that's it. From there, during the 45-minute call, you can ask any questions you want. Any questions. Okay? Lots of love to you. If I am okay, I'll see you next Saturday, but maybe my doctor will ask me to kind of hold on live streams, and I'll do it in 2 weeks. Deal? See you all around. Buy my books, read my books, come to me, talk to me, whatever fits you. I'm still available. Hopefully after the surgery, I'm not going to go blind. It's the Russian way. Speed 3 times over the left shoulder, right? But come to me and get unblocked. Life is so short, guys. So short. You don't want to keep struggling in life with something that is so easy to do, even for parents. Lots of love to you. See you next or 2 weeks after today, Saturday. Bye-bye. Okay. And stream.